Okay, hi everybody. Hi
Hello.
Joel. So, we had a new release.
127.
Almost.
One one
It's
two 122.
122. Yes, yes. And as usual, I have a presentation,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, I also have a tip of the day. And today's tip of the day is to always use web-first assertions.
Mm-hmm.
So we have plenty of them. They cover all the good use cases. So if you don't know what web assertions are, please head over to this link. It will point you to our documentation and it will explain everything about them.
Mm-hmm. And also use
Very good.
locators.
Yes, and also use locators. Okay, so we have a very exciting agenda for this release. So let's head straight into Selectors update. Okay, so starting with Playwright 1.22, you can now actually use role selectors. Now, role selectors is actually a new selector engine that lets you select elements by ARIA role, accessible name, or the following list of ARIA attributes, such as checked, disabled, expanded, level, pressed, and selected. This HTML that has two buttons, one is just a button element, and the other one is a div with an explicitly defined role button. Then now you can query both of them using this role equals button selector engine.
Cool. So this is not looking at the role attribute. This is looking at like the accessibility tree that a screen reader or other system
Yes,
technology would see.
yes,
So it's just looking
precisely,
for buttons. It doesn't care if they're divs or buttons.
precisely, yes.
That wasn't confusing at all.
Yeah, awesome. Yes, and I want to give you a few examples of the different syntax you can use with the new role selector
Mm-hmm.
engine. So this will select all the buttons clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can also select using the accessible name. And for this, you have this name equals click me, for example, an attribute selection.
So this
And
will
this is very,
also be like if it has text content or maybe if it has a title attribute, right?
yes, this is how accessible name is actually generated. But
Yeah.
rules are a little bit more involved, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But yes. Um, so by default, role selector engine searches across all the visible elements only. But however, you can also supply this include hidden attribute, and it will also look into the hidden elements. So this is how you select all the checkboxes that are checked and might be hidden as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you can use regexes as well. And you can use the CSS operators to, select by suffix or prefix.
I don't know how CSS operators work. Does anybody?
That's fine. That's fine. You can use regexes. It's
Yes,
good.
I know how regex works.
Okay. So this was our role selectors. Now the new API for this release. Um, it's called locator filter, and this is an example where it comes handy. So say, for example, I have this HTML on the right-hand side. It's just two buttons. One is login, the other one is submit.
Mm-hmm.
And I have these locator buttons using the new role selector engine.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to get both buttons.
Yeah, we get both buttons. Now,
Mm-hmm.
if I want to click the login button,
Yeah.
I can do this. I can do say buttons.first.click.
Yeah. Okay. I assume you're going to
But
show me
this,
a better way because I
yeah,
like
but
this
this
way.
relies it relies on order of buttons on the page, which is
Yeah.
not a good thing.
Yeah.
So instead, you can filter the buttons using this new filter API.
Okay. Give me a second okay. So
So,
I'm guessing you tell me if I'm wrong. I'm going to guess what it does. You tell me if I'm wrong.
okay.
Right? So I'm guessing this is going to find find all the buttons. We already found the buttons for the locator, and then we're going to filter that. We're going to find which button has the text login.
Mm-hmm.
How is this different from just getting a locator that says like button text login?
Oh, this one reuses the buttons locator. Say, for example, you pass these buttons somewhere into other function, and you can now reuse it to filter it by different
Mm.
criteria.
So is this so if I had like a span around that text login,
Mm-hmm.
would this get me the span that says login, or would it get
No, it
me?
will give you the button.
Oh, okay, so that's so the text doesn't have to be the direct
Yes,
child of the button. It can be
doesn't
anywhere
have to
inside
be.
it.
Yes.
Okay, that's okay. So it's like the CSS has selector.
Yeah, more
Yeah,
or less.
cool.
Okay. Great. Next chapter. Screenshot web first assertion. Okay, so in the tip of the day, I already showed you that we have plenty of different web first assertions, and here they are once again. Now, with this release, we add 2 new web first assertions, which is expect page to have screenshot and expect locator to have screenshot.
Because we didn't have enough assertions.
Well, more use cases,
Yeah.
more beauty.
Okay.
Okay, so let me actually show you in parts. So what it is. So it's a web first assertion, so it has to be awaited. Now it accepts either a page or a locator as the first argument for expect function. And then it's a to-have screenshot that accepts either 1 or 2 arguments. And you can optionally put a screenshot name here, same as in to-match snapshot.
Okay, so so I can just do expect page to have screenshot with no arguments, and it's going to do, what is it going to do?
Yes, it will get these options, and you can put many different options here. You can use all the screenshot options right in line, like mask, for example, or full page, or you name it.
Can you remind me what mask does?
Mask just removes parts, like puts.
Oh, right, yeah, it was from last week. Yes.
Yeah.
We mask out some parts of the images that might have like moving graphics or
ads. Yes.
Yes.
And you can also put your comparator options into this options object. So it's very handy. Now, this await does many things, and one of the things it does, it actually waits for screenshot stabilization.
Ooh.
I'll tell you what it is. So when you have this expect page to have screenshot, what happens under the hood is that it actually takes one screenshot, and then in a while it takes second screenshot, and then compares them. If they don't match, it takes another one. And it does so until they actually match, until 2 last screenshots match. And after that, the very last screenshot goes to compares against expectation. Or, if you don't have any expectation, this is the one that will be saved as a new expectation.
So if I have like a loading spinner, I don't have to do anything. It'll wait for the loading spinner to finish before it takes a screenshot. That's very nice. So I can just put to have screenshot everywhere in my tests, and it'll just work?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So the best practice would be to actually have an explicit signal before each to have screenshot.
Okay. If we were professionals, right? But I'm an amateur, and so I'll just hope that it works.
You can hope, but
our viewers who are professionals can
they should definitely
can have reliable tests.
Yes. Okay. Last thing I want to tell about to have screenshot is that it has different defaults from just a page to screenshot, and you can configure these defaults in the Playwright test config in this to have screenshot section. By default, it disables all the animations.
Seems reasonable.
Reasonable. You don't want to capture screenshot animation. And next, we talked about scale CSS scale option in our last video. So it opts into these lightweight screenshots by default because we think it's very handy for everybody.
Cool. What do I pass if I want to opt out of CSS scale? If I want device, is it device?
You say device.
Device.
Yes, it's a device. Yeah. Okay. Start of the show. Component tests. You can actually now test React, Svelte, or Vue components. This is a preview, though. So let me tell you a little bit of theory. So how component tests could be actually organized? So we have
Let's stop. What are component tests?
Yes, component tests are actually the tests that instead of doing full end-to-end, full-blown tests, they actually just get the component the components you actually use to build your website and test them in isolation.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's like people might call them unit tests, right?
Unit tests, yeah, good
Yeah,
name.
so this is what I get like default in Jest. Like, I might use JS DOM and I import my JS file directly. I render my component.
The thing you just described is actually one of the ways you can do component tests.
Okay.
You can get a Node.js test runner,
Mm-hmm.
which is a very powerful green dragon, and you can put all your components in this Node.js world using something like JSDOM, for example.
Yeah.
Okay, so what this gives you? Well, it gives you a great test runner.
Mm-hmm.
You can, you have file system access, you can parallelize things efficiently, but you don't get real CSS and you don't get real layout.
Yeah, I can't do like offset height or take a screenshot.
Yes, you cannot. Yes.
It's all just JS DOM. Okay.
Yeah, you cannot do screenshot testing for them.
Yeah.
And your clicks are fake.
Well, of course, there's no mouse.
Yes. Okay.
There's no screen. You can't click.
Yes. So the alternative to this would be to put everything inside the browser.
Okay.
Your components are very natural there, but your test runner is not a real dragon. It's lightweight.
Okay.
So even though you get real CSS and real layout, and you can take a screenshot, you don't have these full powers of your Node.js test runner.
Okay, yes. Yeah, so this is like Karma test runner.
Yeah, for example, a Karma test runner, yes.
Or like when I was working on my own projects, I would have like one HTML file that I would just open in the browser and it would run all the tests.
Do it yourself test. Yes, exactly. And notice that we still don't get the real clicks. Even though we are in a real browser, we should be outside of browser process to emulate the real click.
Yes, I do like new mouse event and I put in the options.
Yes, yeah. Okay. Now, so to get the best of two worlds, we actually have to put test runner into the Node.js land and to keep your components in the browser.
Okay.
And this is actually what we have, and I have a small demo for you to show.
Okay.
So let me share my screen. Okay. So to this demo, I came prepared. I just ran this command. So I have a basic create React app, which uses TypeScript as a language, and it lives inside this demo folder. Okay, so now I will quickly show you how can I start using component tests with this create React app. I will do npm int playwright latest, and I will pass this --ct.
Okay.
You can see it asks me which front-end framework do I use. We use React.
Are we going to cut out the loading bar, or are we going to... No, it was good. It was fast.
It was fast, yeah. Okay, let's go to VS Code. Okay. So this is the Create React app that uses the testing library. So let me convert this simple test. I assume it works.
Oh, so this is the test that comes with Create React app that like uses tests and
Yes. This is the default one. So this test works, and I will quickly convert it from the testing library to Playwright test component. So I don't need this React import.
Yeah.
And instead of these imports, I will import just test and expect from Playwright experimental CT React. This package name will be different if you use Vue, for example.
Yeah. Looks familiar. Looks like a Playwright test.
Yep, it is actually the Playwright test on steroids.
Okay.
And this should render. Now, this is Playwright test. So we get an async function with fixtures. We have many different fixtures here.
I recognize most of those.
You have page, you have context.
Okay, everything looks the same so far. It's just got a Playwright test.
But we have one new one, which is called mount.
Okay. What is it?
And I use this mount instead of this render call. So instead of render, I can say await mount now.
Okay, it's and it's okay. I see. So we're rendering the component directly. We just imported it. We didn't navigate anywhere. We just got a component and we're mounting.
Yes. And this function actually returns me a locator to the component root.
Oh, so
Component
to the
locator.
div or whatever that app. Okay.
So now here I can, just use this locator to get my text equals learn React.
Okay.
For example. And now I can use the web first assertion. And instead of checking for it to be an element in document, I can say just to be visible.
Oh, even better than in document.
Yeah.
Oh, can I? Okay. You can run this, and then I have one suggestion.
Yeah. So I saved it.
Yeah.
I have the green check mark from
Oh, because you have
test extension.
the Playwright test extension.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can hit play, and it will run this test in real browser.
Oh, and it's done.
It passes. Yeah.
Okay. I want you to prove it. Can you add?
I'll show you. I'll show you.
No. Oh, okay.
I'll show you right away what happens.
You're getting complicated. Okay, so
we're debugging.
So you just put a breakpoint
on the very first line of this test.
Okay, and we have a browser, and okay.
And this is a browser, a real browser. And
now you're just showing off.
I'm stepping over this mount, and I just mounted my, it's my application. And I get this link element. This is a locator. So look at this. I'm here on the link element, and this link element is actually selected.
Wait, so can you go hover over the component locator?
Yeah, this is the whole thing.
So we just rendered the whole thing, and then if you click link, that's very cool.
This is the link element.
I'm very excited for that. Yeah. That's very cool.
And well, web first assertion just works, and the test succeeds. Okay,
can you add our other new feature from this release? Can you add the expect screenshot on the locator?
Sure, but let's do it in the other video because we have it covered in the other video. So I'll go back to our presentation.
Okay, so if you want to see more about component tests, click the link over there or wherever they put it.
Somewhere it should appear.
Yes.
Okay, so quick overview. To install this experimental component tests, do npm init playwright ----ct and head over, pick your framework and write your tests.
Great.
Okay, so with this you get real browsers, you get all the Playwright capabilities, you get a great developer experience with tracing for debugging, JSX syntax to multi-components.
Go watch the other video. This is all covered.
Yes, and all the frameworks.
Yeah. Next slide.
Okay. Miscellaneous. This is the last chapter in this video.
Okay.
So 2 things here. First, we have now a PyTest code gen, so you can actually generate tests for PyTest.
Okay.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And the next thing, Playwright for Java now works natively on Ubuntu, ARM64, and Apple M1.
Oh, ARM. Cool.
Yeah, good. So this is it. This is a summary for Playwright v1.22. We had selectors update with awesome role selectors and locator.filter, new web first assertion for screenshots. We now have component testing, which is in preview, yes, but please give it a try. And we have PyTest code gen and native support for ARM64 for Playwright for Java.
Cool. I'm excited.
As usual, we have our documentation available at playwright.dev. If you have any questions or issues, please do not hesitate to file them at Microsoft/Playwright at GitHub. And do not hesitate to reach us at Slack or Twitter or YouTube. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you, Joel.
I noticed in the YouTube comments, nobody asks technical questions there. They always go to Slack or Twitter.
Yeah, well,
maybe that's not the best place for technical contents. But
I still do enjoy comments on YouTube.
Yeah, ask us about your locators.
Why not? Thanks.
Bye.